To the Human Relations Commission Board meeting for June 5th, 2024. My name is Ramona Brown Carter, and I serve as the Program Manager for the Human Relations Commission. We are going to start this meeting by calling roll, and we'll ask Ms. Ashley Elliott to do that now. Ashley, if you are doing, yeah, you're on mute. Okay.
I apologize. Commissioner Bryan,
Here.
Commissioner Greer,
Present.
Commissioner Blavitt, Commissioner Jamil,
Present.
Commissioner Lewis, Commissioner Marshall.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm going to ask that, I'll ask Commissioner Commissioner Marshall, if you'll just open us up with a greeting, and if you will open the floor up to the commissioners to bring good and welfare to the commission at this time.
Sure. It is wonderful to be with everyone today. We're looking forward to hearing report outs from what's been happening across the county. And so opening the floor up for any comments now.
Commissioner Bryan, you have the floor.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I've been busy with the Maryland Commission on LGBTQIA+ affairs. Our most recent activity was Annapolis Pride, which was held this weekend. And there will be events for the entire month of June. Baltimore Pride, I'll furnish the dates of prides that are being held within Baltimore County, in case you're interested in attending. There's also a workshop that's going to be held to teach people how to stay safe and where to report incidents or attacks, and I'll share that in an email too. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bryant, for bringing that to our attention. You did share that in the email to us, and it is our intention to get it out to the commissioners. At this time, does any of the other commissioners have any good and welfare to issue at this moment?
No issue, but just to share good news personally, that I have fully recovered from my surgical procedure, and that's why I'm able to attend this meeting today.
Awesome. We are so glad to hear that.
Good.
That is wonderful news. Since the last meeting, we do have a commissioner that is a commissioner, but also a judge. So Judge Greer, do you want to greet your commissioners in your full capacity? And we salute and celebrate you as well.
Well, I certainly do. I thank you all. I thank the commissioners that were able to personally be present. I certainly thank you, Ramona, for all of your wonderful support and all of your prayers. I am very excited. I've been in training for the past 3 weeks. This week, I've been on the bench myself. So it has been such an incredible journey, and I am thoroughly blessed and excited to continue to serve there as well as on our commission.
Awesome. Commissioner Bryan, did you want to say something?
Just wanted to offer my personal congratulations and say how impressed I am.
Yes. One of the takeaways from that night, it was a very humbling moment for me to hear in the chambers. And if you've ever been in the ceremonial chambers, you would understand why it was such a celebratory time to see the first African-American judge and African-American female judge appointed to that court. But when Judge Greer was able to tie in some of her family history into the orphans court. If you have a moment to look back on YouTube to see the ceremony and just to see her in speech before she adjourned for the first time, just to hear that was amazing. So again, Judge Greer, we do salute you. At this time, we're going to turn it over to our executive director to bring greetings and also to give an update from the office from her.
Good evening, and I echo all of the accolades and reflection that Administrator Carter Brown just shared. Brown Carter just shared. Good evening. It's good to see you all virtually. Just wanted to flag that I sent, I believe it was yesterday, everyone an email regarding the next steps related to the strategic planning efforts. Because we have been unsuccessful in identifying a time where the majority can meet in person, we have yelled plot twist and are going to finalize all strategic planning engagements and activities remotely. This is also a best practice, and so given the numerous conversations and engagements we have had in person, we are confident that we will be able to fulfill the remaining aspects of defining where we want to be over the next 3 to 5 years associated with the specific goals, activities, and priorities that will be able to fulfill that. So if you haven't already, please look for an email that I sent yesterday. There's a survey. There's a brief survey. Hopefully it won't take you, the survey isn't lengthy, but because you may want to do some critical thinking about some of the responses, it may take you some time, but the survey isn't long at all. After the survey, after you've completed it, and I'm asking that everyone complete it by next Friday, June 14th, we will continue to work with our vendor, Maryland Nonprofits, to conduct the analysis and follow through with said next steps. By chance, has anyone had a chance to review it? And if so, do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. I could not open it. I wanted to just go ahead and complete the survey, so I need to know if there's any other alternate way, or you need to resend the link
Okay.
to open the. Yes, please.
All right. We will look into that. Thank you for flagging.
Mhm.
Did anyone else have an opportunity to try to access the link? And if so, were you successful?
I'm actually looking at it right now, and I did not have a problem opening it.
Okay.
I did have a problem. I tried to sign in and it wants me to use a Gmail address. I don't use Gmail.
Aha. Got it. Understood. Okay. All right. So let me make some changes so that you can have the ability to access it without needing to put any of that information in. So
I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
I said I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Give me until Friday to get that to you, and if necessary, we'll extend the deadline. I'll just need to what we're going to utilize, as I mentioned, it won't require you to have to have a Gmail account.
Thank you.
Just to give you all some updates on some of the activities that we've done just in the division overall. I believe since we've met, this is our first engagement. We successfully passed our budget. This was the first time I had to go before the county council to defend our budget. All went well. I received only positive feedback overall, without any budget cuts. Exactly. Praise saints indeed. Without any budget cuts. And so we will be able to move forward with the program year as planned. That will include specific trainings. We want to make certain that the staff are most up to date on the best practices associated with investigations, and just navigating the discussion points, the conversations when completing the investigations, and so forth and so forth. We know that we are headed towards finalizing the strategic plan. And so with that, we want to make certain that we are prepared and equipped to handle the increased volume that will be associated with the promotion surrounding to the community, what it is that we do have the authority to engage. Just another update related to appointments. So the number of seats. So we submitted 7 recommended candidates to the county executive's office, and we're just waiting feedback to officially conduct the interviews. We've completed the pre-screening for the 7 candidates, and so our goal is to have well, not all seats, but the 7 seats filled by June 30th. The remaining 2 seats, because we have a total of 9 vacancies. And I'll talk about one of them in just a moment. We would like to reserve them for a youth role. As a reminder, youth between the ages of 16 to 18, we would like for them to, we were able to pass legislation to make seats, have seats available to them. So we, of course, want to reserve it so that they can be fairly represented on the commission. You all may or may not have seen via email, but Commissioner Danny Blavitt, I'm sorry, Danny Blount. I'm like, wait, I'm mixing up the B's. So that means that Jason is definitely here with us. Commissioner Chair Jason Blavitt is here with us in spirit. But Commissioner Danny Blount has resigned for good measure. He has a new opportunity that requires more of his time and attention. And he sadly, bittersweetly, resigned from his post, which created that a 9th vacancy / open seat on the commission. Okay. Just to provide you all, which we will send out via email, some upcoming events. Well, first, let me start with the past event. This past Saturday, June 1st, in the Windsor Mill community, we conducted the 2nd countywide gun buyback event. It was such a wonderful success. It was the 2nd. Last year, we had the 1st. And stay tuned. We may or may not have the availability to do it again in the future, but it was a well attended event. It was co-hosted by the county, including the police department, as well as the NAACP Baltimore County chapter. This coming Friday, the Randallstown YMCA is convening a Juneteenth event. Ramona, you're going to have to remind me of the times, but we encourage you that if you don't already know about it and you don't already have plans, that you please either promote and or attend. As I mentioned, we'll send around that information to you. And then the following weekend, which is June 15th, the county's Recreation and Parks is also convening a Juneteenth celebration. As far as Juneteenth is concerned, what we're doing here within the division, we are convening the 2nd series of trainings throughout the month of June. And the first will be that of Juneteenth celebration. What is it? Why is it important? What should we know about it? So that is a countywide event. County staff specifically is open to county workforce. Last year, it was well attended. We received such great feedback, so we're doing it again. We're also doing training on LGBTQIA plus allyship. Again, that two occurred last year, and we're doing it again this year. Favorable feedback. And then at the third week of June, the last week of June, we will be convening cultural competency training. And in that training, we will talk about the various biases, because again, we want to make certain that the workforce, not just we're promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion, but that we're providing the necessary skill set in order to apply the principles associated. Okay.
You send
Did you
details
have the-
the June again? Would you be able to send a Juneteenth celebration again in Randallstown?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ramona.
Thank you. So our compliance specialist, Ms. Bibios La Rochelle, has been working with the Randallstown team. She'll be out there for majority of the day, but the event itself, if I'm not mistaken, is from 12 to 4 for the community. And it's at the Randallstown Community Center. And that whole lot is blocked off just for this particular celebration. And the police will be directing on where parking should take place for this event. And that is this Saturday, but also on this Saturday, and Bibios, please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe at Oregon Ridge, and I believe this is another 11 to 4 event. It is a pride event at Oregon Ridge with Parks and Recs, and we wanted to make sure that you are aware. So if some of you are able to come to the Juneteenth celebration this weekend, we certainly want you to be there. But if some of you are able to go to that Pride celebration, we want you to be there too, because we want to share the wealth as far as presence from the Human Relations Commission, as well as on the 15th too. So if you're not able to attend this one, Juneteenth, and you want to go to the Pride, that's fine. On the 8th as well, but you're certainly welcome to join the county on the 15th in Oregon Ridge for their Juneteenth celebration. And it looks to be a very good event, all three events. And then last but not least, as far as what Executive Director Peoples Brown stated, we'll make sure that you will get the links to the actual trainings. We always try to invite you via link. You don't have to register for it, but we will make sure that you get the survey, because we want to hear from you as a surveyor about the trainings as well. So we'll send that information out to you. As a matter of fact, we'll try and get that information out to you on tomorrow so that you can set your calendar for the first training on the 11th.
Ramona, will we receive information like flyers on all the
Yes.
upcoming
Mhm.
events? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So everything, the email that we'll send you tomorrow will have all of the events, and will also have the links so that you can get into the training itself.
Okay, perfect. And in terms of county employee awareness, are
Mhm.
these events circulated in some kind of way? I mean, now that I could just think in my court alone in the Register of Wills, I know how pertinent it would be.
Yes,
And
yes,
I'm
ma'am.
committed with my presence there now to start, spreading
Yes,
the
ma'am.
word. Yeah.
Yes, it is Chief Executive Director Peoples Brown sent an all call to our communication staff. That's certainly circulated to all of the staff of Baltimore County. So there is information. Hopefully everyone is checking their emails that is coming out from the county communications, because it is certainly for them. And we're ready to get started.
So does that go out to each department or each employee that has a personal email address, a personal county email address? Is it circulated to each of them or only
The
the
latter,
department?
yes, the latter part, those who have a separate county email address.
Wonderful.
And if they are not getting it, then if you could let us know, so that Chief Peoples Brown can make those who are in communications aware of that the staff over there is not getting the information.
Yeah, we'll definitely follow up.
Mhm.
What I'll do is I will forward, or Ramona, if you want to just forward the countywide notice
Mhm.
to the commissioners, and then they'll have it.
I
And
certainly,
then Commissioner Greer, I feel like I should call you Commissioner Judge Greer. If you want to follow up with, with your folks, your staff, then, that way we can close the gap to make certain that they receive the information. Because even if they received it, we want to make sure that they actually read it.
Exactly. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I have a question for Judge Greer. Many people do not know what is the function of Registrar of Wills. Is there some way that we can be informed in detail so that we can take it to the community?
First off, thank you so much for the wonderful gift from you and your wife. Hugs and kisses to you. Yeah, we do have information in our office, but of course you don't have the occasion to obtain that information until you need it. So we don't want people to have to wait until
Exactly.
then. Yeah, so
Exactly.
maybe we can think about my doing some type of seminar on behalf of the
Yes.
commission.
Yes.
I certainly would be willing to do that. I
I
don't think it
appreciate
falls
that.
too outside of the scope for our executive director. I don't know
Right.
that it falls too far out of the scope of what our
Right.
mission would be, but I'm certain we could be creative for me
Correct.
to do some kind of seminar to walk the community through the process
Uh,
of estates and trusts.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's
Thank you.
very much human relations
Mhm.
centered, as it touches the community. And that was an awesome flag. Um, and I personally look forward to participating in that.
Thank you.
So, Savitra, just let me know, um, if it's something that you want to put on the schedule at some
Mhm.
point this year, we can do that.
Thank you
Very
so
good.
much.
Okay, thank you.
So speaking of the schedule, this is technically our last commission meeting before summer break. So until the fall, because we did miss our May meeting, we had to forego it. We will need to look at the fall to add in another meeting in order to meet the uh, the requirement of having, I believe it's 9 meetings each year.
Correct.
So stay tuned. It's not necessarily something that we need to decide or determine today,
Right.
but it is something that we definitely want to make certain that we engage um, Commissioner Blavitt on as he is chair regarding his recommendation first. And then we would work with the remaining commissioners and hopefully the new commissioners too, that they'll all be on board. The goal, as I mentioned, is to have everyone finalized by June 30th so that we can really hit July 1 running, even though we'll still be on break technically, but we'll at least have the necessary structure in place to pick back up in the fall, full steam ahead.
Anything about the January 12th for Ms. Ramona Carter?
The you said
Uh,
January 12th? June 12th?
July 12th, the Community Day celebration annual, which is was I think 3 years ago we did that.
So you're
At the
correct. It was considered Unity Day. Um,
yes,
I think we had talked about this last summer. We have to figure out a way to incorporate it in a best practice way so that we can incorporate the youth. And so we were looking at trying to um, utilize it during moving the date during the time of school so that children can participate
I,
in Unity Day as well. So I
okay,
think, yeah, I do know that they deemed July 12th as Unity Day. Um,
correct.
and moving forward, maybe there's something that we can do training wise, that is a virtual something, maybe a, panel discussion or something like that virtually. But as far as an in-person event, I think that we had discussed that we would be moving it to the fall so that we can incorporate, the entire body of the constituency.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I was thinking in terms of educating these children about the function of the HRC, because they're the ones who will be moving ahead into college and become adults, and they know that as to what these opportunities they have to approach the commission for all the, so that we can continue with our mission.
Thank you again for flagging something that we need to definitely make certain we keep on our radar. And what we'll do, Ramona, is in our conversation with Maryland Nonprofit, just as we plan out our next 3 to 5 years, how we can, be better on top of that to make certain that we're being active on Youth and D-Day.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have one other flag, and then I'll open it up for any comments, feedback, general, before we adjourn. We sent out maybe a month or so ago a notice about the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund, otherwise known as CRRF, or the Cannabis Fund or Reparations Fund. All of those are all of those are the also known as. So for those who are not familiar, and this is up on the county's web page. So in 2022, Maryland voters approved the legalization of recreational adult use cannabis. Under the new law, a portion of the state revenue generated by the sale of cannabis is dedicated to the community. Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund specifically. The fund will provide resources to local jurisdictions to support initiatives that benefit low-income communities and communities that have been disproportionately impacted by the enforcement of cannabis prohibition. The amount provided to each jurisdiction will be based on the total number of cannabis possession charges in that jurisdiction between July 1, 2002 and January 1st, 2023, compared to the total number of cannabis possessions charges in the state. Each county must enact legislation establishing the purpose for which the funds can be utilized. And this office, the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, in addition to the county's grant management office and the executive staff and administrative staff, we will be the governing entities that work to do just that. As a part of this legislation, a commission must be established, and the commission will be within the division. So it will be under myself. And we will be recruiting a administrative officer to oversee that commission. We'll be certain to send this information back out to you all, and I'm sharing it with you for multiple reasons. The first is there is a community survey that is associated, and we just want to make certain that all who are able to complete the survey have the opportunity to do so. It is still live. The second reason is because it impacts you as a resident of Baltimore County, and I want to make certain that you are aware. And the third reason is I mentioned that we are going to have a commission. Well, should it pass through the county council, which we don't foresee any challenges, but nonetheless, we are planning to establish a commission, which would then mean we will have commission seats available. Now, there are those whose this is their they are in their second term, which means this is their final year of serving. So I encourage each of you who are in that scenario to please consider becoming a member of the CRRF applicant. We aren't yet accepting applications, but we will certainly promote that once we are. And because again, it will be under DEI, the roles and responsibilities will be relatively the same, similar, if you will, to that of the Human I muted myself, will be that of the Human Relations Commission. And so therefore, you would ultimately know what to expect. The commissioners, as far one of the major roles and responsibilities will be to review grant recommendations, and then make recommendations to the administration on what to fund. So there's more to be teased out, but at a very high level, that is the overarching expectation of the commissioners of the CRRF. So that was a quick little recruitment promo that we have what we have in the legislation related to the Human Relations Commission, related to the terms. But there's a way that if you are interested, I would love to continue working with you. So, are there
How
any?
do we,
Go ahead.
CRRF, how do you join the CRRF?
So, once it's made live, you would do so through the same method as the Human Relations Commission. You would submit an application through the Granicus system.
I see. I see. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Savitra, I do have a question. I know that you said we probably are not going to meet again, probably until the fall.
Mhm.
We've been talking about, as part of our strategic planning, the preparation for reviewing some of these
Cases.
Exactly. And I don't know where I am, but I believe I'm coming up on the end of my term at some point. It may be the end of this year. I'm sure Jason, because he was on before me, is probably coming up on it. And presently, we're the two attorneys that are on the commission. Certainly, we are probably the most experienced in dealing with case review. And so I'm kind of concerned that the commission is, one, crippled right now. And I talked to you about that. I sent you an email about it. So I'm glad to hear that hopefully we'll be getting new commissioners on board. Nevertheless, they still have to become acclimated in the function of the commission. And we don't want the commission to fall even farther behind in meeting what our general mission and our objectives are. So what can we do presently as a commission to begin to prepare for some of these goals moving forward and to create some kind of bridge over before coming to the conclusion of our time of service, and then not having commissioners who are prepared to move forward in those roles?
Absolutely. So two things. The first is we have re-engaged the county's Office of Law to have participation and ex officio representation on the commission to ensure that we keep the legal lens, if you will, the legal expertise on the commission. So that's the first thing. The second thing, which thank you for bringing this up, as a reminder, there is a DEI community council, and there will be, we haven't yet defined the number of seats that will be on the council, but they're based upon however we define that, they will have an active role in participating in the review. So that business process is the only outstanding aspect as it relates to the review of the closed cases, which we're still working on and defining. But in addition to that, as I mentioned, we have re-engaged the Office of Law to make certain that we have that lens and representation from the legal aspect.
Okay, so the Office of Law is prepared to conduct a training, I'm assuming?
We haven't asked them to do that as of yet, but that is something that we will certainly explore.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. in the Office of Law, one other, I keep saying one other because things keep coming to my mind. And I don't know how I forgot what I'm getting ready to say, because this was one of the highlights of my day. We received feedback about the bylaws. So in our last strategic planning session, we discussed reviewing the bylaws, and to make them more aligned with the roles and responsibilities and the commitment statement. I received the various recommendations regarding that. So again, while this may be our final meeting, for summer break, you will still hear from us. You're still going to be engaging with us. So once we have the various documents finalized, we'll send those over to you. It is the expectation that you will receive them well before the end of the month so that you can have time to review the updates that have been made since our last engagement and sign them, so that, again, going into July 1, which is the start of our fiscal year, we have everything that we've been working on finalized.
Thank you, Executive Director Peoples Brown. Is there any other announcements that you have that you want to yield at this time?
Just one, the Muslims' second highest holiday, which is called Eid ul-Adha. That means feast of sacrifice. That's going to be celebrated on June the 16th, which will bring, just from Baltimore County alone, close to 50,000 congregants for the morning prayers between 7:30 and 11 in all the different mosques within the Baltimore County. And what that is the celebration of the commandment that was given to Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, about sacrifice. So the Muslims, those who can afford, they are required to sacrifice a lamb or a goat and distribute the meat to the poor and the needy. So that's what would be done on that day, on the 16th.
Thank you so much for that update. If you'd be so kind, if you could send us a flyer, if you're opening that up to the community. I'm not sure if this is a private affair for congregants for the month. Okay. If you have a flyer and you want us to attach it to the all call that we'll be sending out as far as these events going out, if you could send it to us, we'll release it all at the same time. Commissioner Bryant, I do see your hand.
Thank you. I just wanted to let everyone know that the Maryland Lynching Memorial Project is co-sponsoring a civil rights tour in the fall. They'll be visiting the, oh my goodness, the EI, no, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. The institute that was started by the lawyer that, excuse me, represented so many falsely accused prisoners and got them exonerated. We'll be visiting the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the church where Martin Luther King Jr. preached, and several other locations. I can send you information about that too. The participants will fly into Atlanta and then be bused to various locations.
Thank you so much. And I do believe,
Sorry, and everyone who's experienced the trip say it really moves your soul.
Great.
Yes,
Thank you.
Commissioner Bryant, is this the attorney that's from Alabama, I believe, that started like an Innocence Project?
Yes, I can't think of his name.
yes,
Yeah, he's dynamic.
yes.
Oh, that's terrible.
Thank you so much. If you could send us that, but I think we may have that information, but if you would just resend it when you send the other information to, I think I just released as far as the conversation that's going to take place, the panel discussion tomorrow. But if there was something else that you mentioned, if you could send that to us, we'll release it with everything as well. I do know that Executive Director Peoples Brown does interact with the Maryland Lynching Memorial
Yes.
Project.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that we're supportive of those efforts as well.
Well,
Commissioner Marshall, I see your hand.
I'm sorry, if I cannot think of anybody's titles. Commissioner Peoples Brown, do you receive the Maryland Lynching Memorial Project newsletter?
I am on the newsletter, yes.
Okay, so if you would just want to forward that to everyone, it's got all the details about the tour
Okay.
in the most recent newsletter.
Great, we'll do that. Commissioner Marshall, we want to acknowledge you.
Thank you. So just one last update for me. Tomorrow I will be attending Maryland Commission on Civil Rights is actually doing a hate bias reporting forum up in Harford County this time. And so I'll be in attendance for that.
Awesome. I know that our intern was supposed to be able to attend that one, but I do believe she's unavailable to attend it now. But we had mentioned it to her. So we're grateful that someone else is going to be able to attend that. And to bring us information from Harford County. As you know, we did sponsor the one here in Baltimore County, and the Maryland Commission on Civil Rights is continuing their efforts to be engaging with all of the counties. So they are doing a round robin of listening sessions. And if I'm not mistaken, during the month of June, they will be in they will do one in PG County, and I think they're also doing one in Howard County. We have not gotten an invitation for Baltimore County yet. And as soon as they reach out to myself and Executive Director Peoples Brown, we'll let you know when that listening session, when and where it will take place.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. If that is all from everyone, I am getting ready to close out our meeting. Please be mindful that our next meeting is scheduled for September 11th. The location will be announced. At this time, it is scheduled to be an in-person meeting. If it should change, you will hear from us. And we always will have the option for a WebEx meeting. We thank you all for attending our meeting. If you need our office, you can reach us at 410-887-5917. We also can be found on the Baltimore County website, as well as our email, bchrc@baltimorecounty.md.gov. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening to everybody.